I'm seeing a theme here, and it's that almost every book in this list so far has been rather difficult to read. Is that a good thing? I don't know yet. Heyo, I'm Indigo, and welcome back to another episode of the Bible Speak series. It has been a while, so I will remind you that the book I will be reviewing today is called Evangelism and the Sovereignty of God by J.I. Packer. Now, let me preface by saying that this review probably will be on a different level than my other ones because this is the first book that I had to listen to as an audiobook, and I didn't have anything to look at the words in order to take notes. I'm the kind of student that needs to see the words and converse with the author by leaving notes in the margin and really studying the language that is used in the text. I like to read the sentences multiple times, put the book down to think, and then pick it back up. Though I would say I'm a pretty good listener, I had a hard time retaining a lot of the information in this book. I will give you what I can, and hopefully we can have some conversation in the comments about what you may have gotten from the text. Anyway, I will begin by saying that this book truly impressed me. I have thought similarly to how Mr. Packer has written about how the church handles evangelism, so it's nice to see that in a book by such a prolific author. One of the most important concepts introduced here is called antinomy. According to the author, this is defined as two seemingly irreconcilable things that can actually both be true in accordance with one another. This antinomy is referencing God's characteristics as king and his characteristics as judge. Honestly, putting these together are a paradox, which I believe goes beyond human understanding, and that's okay. That we are free agents under the complete control of our sovereign God is quite a daunting concept to think about. God is a mystery to us because his thoughts and ways are higher than ours, and there are going to be some places in our theology and philosophy about these subjects that will plainly fall short of who God is and what his reality is. God does not require our theology to be neat and tidy, only that we are obedient to his commands. And to be truthful, it would be prideful for us to say or believe otherwise. So if God commands us to evangelize to the lost, so be it. The other major takeaway I got from this book was how we are to evangelize. He categorizes each facet of what evangelism should look like, which was difficult for me to follow since, again, I was listening instead of reading. There were many numbered lists which he used to organize his premises, but I was confused after a while because I wasn't sure what number within a number within the numbered list we were on. What I could gather was this: we do not evangelize with the end result in mind. We evangelize simply with obedience to God's command in mind. We shouldn't just throw tracts at people and tell them they're going to burn in hell with the intention of scaring them into accepting Christ. We build rapport and deepen relationships with our neighbors and speak with them in love and concern for their salvation. There is a balance between urgency to surrender to Christ, but also to treat people like people. Something else about evangelism that we should pray about earnestly is emotionally manipulating people into accepting Christ. From my own experience, I remember very vividly sitting in church some time ago, watching a video that moved me to tears. Then suddenly, I became aware that I was being lulled into an emotional state. I'm sure there was no malice in what the church was doing with this video, but I couldn't help but wonder if this was a genuine way of evangelizing to the lost, or if we were tricking people into feeling a certain way in order to get a certain result. Mr. Packer gives an example of prayer meetings. One invites their unsaved friend to one of these meetings, and something very disturbing happens. The congregation and leaders facilitate this falsely romanticized impression of what being a Christian is like, as Mr. Packer put it, and then when a person decides for Christ and comes to fellowship later on, it ends up being nothing like what was presented before. But again, these types of meetings are held with the result in mind, not out of genuine concern for the soul. This could be why so many people, particularly young ones, leave the church. As someone who has done this up until fairly recently, I can tell you that we can see through that facade. So what do? Just as Christ commanded. Do you care about the lost? If you don't, pray for God to break your heart. Do you genuinely care about the people around you? If not, ask yourself why and pray. Are you building relationships with people and gaining genuine concern for their salvation? Then keep going. It's not up to a pastor or leader to be the one to instigate evangelism, because Christ called us all to do it. We are God's plan, A, B, C, and so on. I would recommend this book to every Christian because I think it's something we don't talk much about, and I think it would be great to get the conversation going now more than ever. I can definitely tell that God is moving through this series to open my eyes to what needs to be done, and I truly pray that the same is happening for anyone else watching. So the next book will be number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Principles of Conduct by John Murray. Hit the dislike button or the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so very much for watching.